YouTube, what is going on? It's the Narrow Top 23. I'm back with another video. Before we get into the video, YouTube, I need you to hit the like, comment, and subscribe buttons on that post notification bell while you at it. So today we got a true crime story. We got the little girl who was violated after her whole family was killed by stepdad. Let's get straight into it. Forgot.
Wow, have you done something to anyone else?
Yeah.
What have you done?
Murdered 4 people.
This is
What?
Damien Bendel, a depraved killer who a few hours ago had violently murdered his pregnant girlfriend, her 3 innocent children. But he did not stop there. He actually went on to do some pretty unspeakable things to a little girl as she was playing. What would make someone do something so vile and horrific? This is the case of the little girl who was violated after her whole family was killed by her stepdad. On the Sunday morning of September 19th, 2021, the police in the town of Killamarsh, North Derbyshire, England, received a startling call from a man claiming to have killed 4 people.
Basically, I need the police and the ambulance now because I've killed 4 people.
Okay, just hold the line. Bear with me.
As the police arrived at the address a few minutes later, they saw a man, later identified as 32-year-old Damien Bendel,
What are they in, like,
standing
London somewhere?
outside a
England?
semi-detached house, calmly waiting for them. This body cam footage from one of the officers shows the moment the police approached Damien.
I buy the same products you do, only
It's
I
too
get
early
much
for an
cheaper.
ad, bro.
I save
Don't start.
hundreds of dollars a month by doing this one simple trick.
Mate, have you got anything on you that you shouldn't have?
No, there's no weapons or nothing.
Right.
Right, do you just want to do your coat? Have you armed yourself?
Yeah.
You have.
Have you stabbed yourself, mate?
I can see blood in your hands.
They must be Australian.
Anywhere else?
Just my chest, 4 inches in with a bread.
Can we have a look?
Yeah, one on the stomach.
In the footage, Damien appears calm and relaxed as he casually tells 2 officers about the injuries that he had inflicted on himself. When the officers asked him to remove his
know how far it
coat,
went,
Damien
though.
says that he doesn't want to be in front of everyone, and so the officers take him to the side of the house where they ask him what he thinks would happen next, and his answer is startling.
See?
Right.
So-
We've told you. I know what's going to happen to you now, mate.
Well, I know it's going to
We
happen
just-
to go to prison, obviously, but again,
Wow, have you done something to anyone else?
yeah,
What have you done?
I've murdered 4 people.
Immediately
Crazy.
after the
Late
confession,
murder, bro.
Damien was put into handcuffs and asked to sit on the ground outside of the house as one of the officers reported the situation on his radio.
He's been calm and compliant, but he's got some wounds to his chest. They're not oozing blood, but he's saying that his family are inside and that he believes he has murdered them.
What do you mean he believed?
Are you alright for me to go in?
The officer
telling you
then
what he did.
proceeded to enter the house, but what he found was far from what he had imagined. It was a horrific scene with gore covering every inch of the house. 4 bodies lay in different rooms in the house with their heads completely crushed with a hammer. One of the victims was 35-year-old Terry Harris, who was said to be in the early stages of pregnancy. She was lying on the floor of the main bedroom, completely covered in gore. Her 11-year-old daughter, Lacey Bennett,
Come on,
was lying
bro.
on the bed next to her while her son, 13-year-old John Bennett, was found in the bathroom. In another bedroom, the officer found yet another body belonging to Lacey's best friend, 11-year-old Connie Gent, who had come over for a sleepover. The manner in which the 4 were killed was so brutal and vicious that even the hardened officer was left terribly shaken.
Damien, at 07:47 hours, I'm arresting you on suspicion of murder. You don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence. Do not mention when questioned something later rely on in court, and if you do say may be given in evidence.
But what really happened? Terry Harris was a care worker who many described as a loving and caring mom to her 2 children, John and Lacey Bennett. After separating from her partner of 14 years, Jason Bennett, who was also the father of her children, Terry went online hoping to find love. Unfortunately, what she found was the complete opposite. When Terry began her relationship with Damien in April of 2020, she thought that he was sweet and a gentleman, despite his rough edges. But soon she learned that she was wrong. as Damien was abusive and controlling and even tried to separate her from her family. On top of that, Damien had a lengthy criminal record, including robbery, arson, and a grievous bodily harm. At the time Damien began his relationship with Terry, he was reportedly wanted by the police for setting someone's car on fire, an offense that he was later given a suspended sentence for. People who knew him growing up said that he was always getting in trouble and wanted to emulate a relative who was considered a bad boy. He would take pleasure in torturing kittens and bragged about beating a dog to death with a brick. Still, Terry saw some good in him, despite his substance addiction and the fact that he was unemployed. He would even steal from her and sell her belongings to feed his habit. Sometimes he would force Terry to borrow money from loved ones, which he would then use to buy narcotics. At some point in September of 2020, Terry moved to the town of Killamarsh and didn't want Damien to know where she lived, but he somehow found out and moved in with her and her children. Terry's friends and family began to notice the toll that the relationship was taking on her well-being.
You don't want him to know
and
where you
tried
live.
talking her into leaving him, but she was
when he
completely
find
in
out,
love.
you let him
One
move
time in January 2021, her mother even gave her an ultimatum to end the relationship, but she didn't. Instead, she told a friend that she and Damien were trying for a baby. She also told her mom that the two would get married. Before the murderous incident, Terry had just found out she was pregnant and texted her friend on September 17, 2021 saying, "We have some good news for you." She promised to call over the weekend with the good news. Little did she know that she wouldn't even be alive by then. On Saturday of September 18, 2021, Terry helped her daughter Lacey and her friend Connie put up a stand outside the house where they spent the afternoon selling sweets in order to fundraise for cancer research. This picture, which was taken on that day, would chillingly be their last. Connie's mother said that she sent a WhatsApp message to her daughter at around 9 p.m. that evening, wishing her a good night. And Connie replied immediately, wishing good night to her mother. At around 9:30 p.m., Connie's mother recalled overhearing a FaceTime conversation between her older daughter Libby and Lacey's brother John. The conversation went on until 9:42 p.m. when John said that he was going to have a shower before going to bed. After that, everything went silent in the house. According to investigators, Damien had spent the evening on the phone, calling and texting his narcotics dealer, asking for some products to sell. He left the house at around 7:40 p.m., with his phone records indicating that he was still getting high on weed and other substances. Investigators believe that Damien began the vicious attacks sometime after 9:42 p.m., going around the house with a claw hammer and savagely beating his victims to death. When he was done, this sicko then took John's Xbox to sell narcotics. He was captured on CCTV leaving the house with the Xbox in a plastic bag and getting into a cab. While on the cab, he reportedly told the driver that his night was not too bad, a bit mad, when asked what he had been up to. He reportedly replied, "Just chilling with family, really." Another footage later showed him emerging from the cab and wandering through the street without the Xbox. At around 7 a.m., he called his mom and entered a nearby shop to buy some cigarettes. CCTV footage inside the shop shows him going through the coins in his hand that appear to have traces of red. He then gives the shop assistant a warm smile before leaving and making his way back home. Later, when he was arrested, this monster reportedly told officers that he had blacked out and didn't know why he did it, saying, "The whole house is covered in claret. I used a hammer. I didn't realize what I did until I walked into my room and saw my missus and my daughter. But you don't often get 4 murders in Killamarsh, do you? Well, 5, because my missus was having a baby." Now, get this.
Bro.
Despite the pain and horror that he had inflicted on Terry and the 3 innocent children, Damien wanted to plead guilty to a lesser charge of manslaughter under the guise of diminished responsibility. He claimed that he had sustained a brain injury some years back, which could have led him to commit the heinous crime. However, extensive neurological tests which were done on him revealed that this was not true. When he realized that his plans didn't work, Damien finally admitted to everything.
It was at the start of today's court proceedings that Damien Bendel entered guilty pleas, guilty to the murder of his partner, Terry Harris, who was in the early stages of pregnancy with their child, guilty to the murder of 11-year-old Lacey Bennett and 13-year-old John Bennett, who were Terry's children from a previous relationship, and also guilty to the murder of 11-year-old Connie Gent. who was
It's like for the
Lacey's
mom,
friend,
see,
who was staying.
and this is why people don't let people spend the night, bro. Like shit like this, bro. Like when you was little, bro, you used to get mad as shit when your mom and dad be like, nah, you can't spend the night. But it's like shit like this is why they don't want you over there. You don't know what the hell gonna happen. She over there selling cakes and shit. Now look. This shit don't make no sense, bro. Like, come on, bro.
At the home
like,
in Killamarsh in Derbyshire for a sleepover on the night that these terrible events unfolded.
Sickeningly, it was revealed that when Lacey lay dying, Damien violated her. How messed up is that? During the sentencing hearing, which happened on December 21st, 2022, the prosecution described the crime as brutal, vicious, and cruel, saying, "The circumstances are truly hideous. Terry was in the early stages of pregnancy. It appears the defendant went around the house looking for them and attacking them each in turn. These were brutal, vicious, cruel attacks on a defenseless woman and her 3 young children. The defendant attacked them using a claw hammer, which he used to hit them over the head and on the upper body. It was perfectly clear none of the victims stood a chance." Lacey's devastated father, Jason, gave a heartbreaking impact statement to the court, saying, "The murder of my 2 children has destroyed me and taken my life away. I can't kiss them and tell them I love them, and now I have nothing to fight for. I used to be scared of dying, but now I'm not scared at all. I just want the pain I feel to end. John and Lacey were innocent, and I cannot comprehend why someone would take innocent lives." Connie's dad, Charles Gent, also gave a powerful statement, saying that no sentence would ever be enough to give justice for his little girl. "The man who carried out the crimes can only be described as truly evil and should never be free from incarceration. Just like the families of the victims in this case will never be free from their life sentence as a result of the shocking and adherent crimes he committed on a defenseless woman and children.
Yeah, bro. Like, damn.
In the end, a judge sentenced Damien to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
The level of force and violence that was carried out in these attacks was carried out with one intention, and that was to take the lives of those within the premises. They'd all, by the nature of their relationship, come to trust Vendel, and he took the opportunity to shatter that trust. These horrendous attacks and the force and the weapon used would have left persons inside the premises very quickly incapacitated.
What do you think motivated Damien to do what he did? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and if you liked this video...
bro, like, you can't really say what motivated him, because he had too much shit going on. Probably a drug addict. Probably wanted money to get drugs, this and that. Like, it's just so much shit, but it's just the fact, like, bro, come on, bro. You killing other people's kids for no reason, bro. Like, first of all, you killing your kid. Well, not whatever, but it's just like the fact, like, why are you doing this in the first place, bro? Like, come on. Oh man, it's too much, bro. But you too be rocking with the channel. Leave me a like, comment, and subscribe. Catch me on next